On today's video, Shadow Legion Invasion is finally here. This video is everything you need to know about it, about the event, including tips and advice on how to get individual points, tips and advice on the blueprints, whether or not you should really be going for them, as well as everything you need to know regarding starting the event, going through the event, everything about the event here, and a few very strong opinions I have about it, which you're gonna hear about while watching me spin for Edward 61 times. I did that yesterday. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sit back and relax. Let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Today, Shadow Legion Invasion is finally here. Let's talk about this event briefly. But first of all, everything that is the basics of how this event works can be found in the video carded up on the right. I did this a while back when it first came out. And this is the second round. We're going to talk more specifics about this round. And if you want to know the basics of how this event works, go to the top right card and start from there. Now, dark fortresses spawn all over the map. I got lucky enough that one spawned relatively close to me. This is the event page right here. I recorded this a little bit after we were done to show you guys the passive skills that these marches have when they come at you. It's important for you guys to know this. These are the rewards right there, which include requirements for individual points as well as alliance points. Those points also have a ranking system, which will give you extra rewards. Pretty good rewards as an individual. The alliance ones are okay. What you also need to know is an alliance has to have a total of 30 members to start the event. And 15 of the members must survive all 25 waves in order to be able to rally back the dark fortresses. If you get burned twice, you're not considered as someone who got through all 25 anymore. You can burn once, you can't burn twice. And you can see right there, every wave that is still active, every wave, how it worked. JWM going through easy was really easy. So the first thing you need to know about this event is that every 5 levels, you get an elite troop. That elite troop is the one that potentially drops the blueprints we're all looking for. The thing is, it drops as a gift, kind of like the thieves gift. So you got to keep an eye on those marches. Whether it hits your city or you hit it on the field, it will definitely drop regardless. But there is a thing here. Individual points work on the amount of damage you do on the marches. With each march, more troops come out and the individual points grow. If all 25 waves hit your city, and that's that, you'll be good to go when it comes to every single individual reward, which is awesome. Except for, of course, the rankings one, but we'll get there eventually. The next thing you need to know is that if you steal someone else's march, that individual will not get the score, the points. And so now, the question is whether you are an alliance that, you know, are gonna respect each other and say, listen, everybody just gets hit in their cities and that, or you're gonna have people on the open field close to those fortresses really trying to get as much as they can, get as many points as they can, and it will probably be detrimental for your alliance mates. By the way, these marches use all these awesome emotes that are still not available. It's really cool to see them every now and then. But what JWM decided is everybody stay home and we just get hit into our cities. Easy peasy, done deal. As you can see, my Sun Tzu was on the wall and with a YSG. However, I'm not entirely sure whether that's the best decision. We're getting hit with infantry. You get 15 rounds of tier 2 infantry and then 10 rounds of tier 3 infantry. Quite frankly, I'm almost tempted to say you should put range on your wall, and so that you ensure that those commanders buff up your troops and you do much more damage to the open march than having a garrison commander up there like YSG and Sun Tzu, who are fantastic garrison commanders, by the way, but their main thing is being swarmed and being able to stop the swarms. You can see right there, 2 gifts drop right there. 2 gifts dropped from 2 different marches. We noticed it. I went for that gold one. Our friend from JWM went for it too, and I turned around thinking he's gonna get there, but no, he turned around and he said hello, meaning I saw that you were marching, so I'll respect that and I'll back off. You can have the gems. It's not that big of a deal, the gems, but the fact that he was close, he could have gotten it easy, but he just backed off because I guess he saw that I marched there first, even though I sent whatever just to try to get there. It was really nice. So big shout out to you. Thank you for being awesome and letting me pick up the gems. It's not the biggest of deals, but those kinds of gestures is what makes an alliance mate, right? Anyway, going back into the event. With every 5 levels, you get those drops. The problem is the blueprints don't drop almost at all. I believe we only got 1 blueprint out of 2 or even 3 alliances that got the work done. It's a really, really, really low drop rate, which really disappoints me. Now, it could be that it's only because it's easy mode. Once we get to hard and whatnot, it'll get much harder as well as better rewarding per se, but maybe not. This March right here has already a Richard on it. It's a later March, which has tier 3s in it. And you'll see in a moment all the reports and all the buffs and all that in the video. I don't think blueprints are that achievable through this event. It's almost like the Stalkers in Lost Kingdom, which dropped maybe 1 or 2 or, I don't know, 3 blueprints all through all Lost Kingdom. Or per one of those buildings per se. So the drop rate is super, super low. The defense is really easy. If you're just letting them hit your city, as you can see, we're just melting through everything that comes, especially if you're a tier 5 player. What you get at the end is a good chunk of tier 3s, so even a tier 4 player can very, very easily get through easy. I'm sure that we'll see harder levels as it progresses. But one of the faults in this event is that you can only do 1 level at a time, kind of like Karak bosses. Another big fault of this event is that you have a waves counter at the center of the top center of the screen, but it's not necessarily synchronized. If you guys notice that it's wave 22, but you're only getting a level 19 right now, everything is okay. You will get 25 total, but it might not be that synced and it might take a little bit longer, which I was really bummed out about. I mean, come on, man. It's not that hard to synchronize it, and yet that also didn't work. Finally, let's talk about points for a moment. If you guys stay in your city and get hit, you'll get all the points from the march. But if you get reinforced or someone else does damage, the amount of damage they do is the amount of points they will get, which means you can deprive your teammates from getting points. On top of all of this, it never says anywhere how many points you're supposed to get per level, or how many points people get if they hit, or how much damage they do. There's really no information. It's kind of really annoying. Adding to that, the fact that unless you are you're reinforcing 5 cities, which means 5 people are getting screwed by you. And by the way, that's the Dark Fortress right there. If you have 15 people who finish it, you can rally it, which we did. Not recommended, by the way. I'll explain why in a bit. But anyway, unless you're reinforcing with 5 marches, it's not worth it. And when you're doing that, you're screwing up five teammates. And on top of that, if enough people reinforce the one guy, he really gets screwed. I don't recommend reinforcing unless it's a must. And I recommend not hitting in the open field, but rather let it hit your city so there's no confusion, so you don't accidentally hit someone else's march. Is it worth at the end to rally the Dark Fortresses? Absolutely not. Why? Because once you rally it, it's gone. But if you don't rally it and it stays there, and other alliances want to get this event started, they can use the same Dark Fortresses. So if you have a farm alliance that you guys have your farms nearby your cities, you can start there too and get those marches nearby, and then with your main account, you can probably help out your farm, right? Hit it in the open field or whatever not. That's what a lot of people in every kingdom have been doing. I mean, if you have an alliance, just like every other event, right? Karak, same thing. If you have a farm alliance that can do it, why not? Now, as we start spinning for Edward, which was a very decent set of spins, let's talk a little bit about this event. And all right, when I make videos, my top priority is to be positive. I want this to be a positive channel. I want you guys to get the positive vibes, the energy, the hype that I feel when I see new events, when I enjoy the game. And I want you guys to enjoy the game too. A lot of times I got criticized for sounding more excited than an event was, but that's who I am. I want to bring the positivity into the conversation. But in this event, I'm having a really hard time staying positive. And I'll tell you why. Lilith Gaming realized there was a bug in the event after the first time it came out and pretty much shelved the event for a long time until they fixed their issue. The problem is they didn't truly fix all the issues. The wave counter is laggy as heck and it doesn't really work. It says nowhere how many points you get or how to get points or what to do. For the record, if you finish all 25 marches, you get all your individual points. But for a while, we didn't know that. We didn't know that the points kept going up as the marches get stronger. No information about points whatsoever. On top of that, it's such a mess that you can hit your alliance mates' marches and then steal their points away, or reinforce your alliance mate and steal their points away. There are folks in other alliances, which you saw in the beginning of the video, which ended up with a ton of points. And they ended up with a ton of points because they stole their alliance mates' marches. The maximum amount of points you can get is about 5 million or so, and someone had 20. So it's really messed up that they're pretty much pitting us against each other in order to end up at the top of the individual rankings, and JWM wasn't about that life. One important thing to notice, by the way, is that if by any chance a blueprint drops, it drops as a gift, so you don't necessarily have to pick it up. What we were doing really is, if anything dropped, it would have gone to our rally leaders, who are the important people to have the best stats, as well as the folks that spend the most and therefore will get the materials needed to craft ASAP. Well, based on the game, right? You don't get that many materials as is, so it's a real hard thing. The drop rate on blueprints is terrible. The setup on how this works is kind of weird. The waves and how they come out and all that. The point system is weird. The fact that you're pitting us against each other is bad. Overall, I was really looking forward for this event. And I still hope that by the time the next phase comes out and we can start seeing normal, hard, nightmare, and all that good stuff, it'll get a little bit better. But for now, I think that Lilith shouldn't have unshelved this event. They should have worked on it a little bit longer. And I understand that you guys are raging at this, right? Every single time someone had something to say that was negative, 90% of the time is like, oh, we're still missing Shadow Legion, even though the event came out, there was a bug, and they rather shelved it than put an event with a bug in. So yes, you can say, keep working on the previous events before working on new ones, but by the time they figured out there's a bug, they're already pretty much halfway, if not 90% done with the next event. So they put it in the calendar wherever they could. With that being said, I don't think this event is still in a place where I would call it a good event. It's nice, and it's good to do these this little bit of garrisoning per se and all that good stuff, but I wasn't impressed at all. And I hope that the next time we see this event, it will be much more refined. What did you think about the event? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you who slaps a like on this video, subscribes to the channel, joins the Discord, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram in the description down below. And I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Take care. Peace.